Welcome back to the newsroom here at France 24. You're watching our international press review in the papers. Marion Hembest is in charge of that today. And Marion Hembest, I'm guessing that you're going to be starting with the story with a capital S.
That's right, yes. And first of all, to the Colombian press, an obvious place to go. The release of Ingrid Bétancourt and the other 14 hostages making the front page news all across the board there. We looked at El Colombiano, and the title of an article there, A Sign of Peace for Colombia, taken from Ingrid Bétancourt herself, the words that she said, she describes in detail on the radio, and this article describes that account of the military operation which led to her release. Not a shot fired, that's why she says that hopefully this is a sign of peace to come in the country, and explains how she had no idea what was happening when she saw the helicopters arrive. She thought that FARC members were inside. These people were dressed as FARC members. They sounded like them, and then of course the famous quote which the Colombian army said to her, they described who they were and said, "You're free." Also looking in El Espectador, and the article there has a bit of a different angle. Uribe ready to negotiate with the FARC. The fact that Uribe has said that this is an outstretched arm for the Colombian rebels and a time for them to perhaps start peace talks there.
The FARC rebels certainly under pressure after the freeing of Ingrid Bétancourt. Next, we're going to move on to some other reactions.
That's right. In the Spanish press, there's also a lot on this story as well. El País continues with the theme of President Álvaro Uribe, saying that this is his biggest political success, a huge battle that he launched, and also pointing towards the fact that this is perhaps an opening for him towards a third term in office, which would take him up to 2014. He started off the job here, probably wants to finish it off with negotiating with FARC and hopefully from him finishing them off there, releasing other hostages. This article mentions that in fact this is quite a blow for President Hugo Chavez of Venezuela, who's always described himself as the best negotiator with the FARC rebels, now probably very stunned that this Colombian military operation has been so successful. The El Mundo paper in Spain also talks about the fact that this could possibly be the end for FARC, their worst blow in 40 years, things going from bad to worse. The army has now got dual in the crowns for Ingrid Bétancourt, of course, and there's not many more political cards that they have to play, so they're saying that this could well be the end of the road for them.
A battle won there without firing a bullet for Álvaro Uribe. Next, we're going to be moving on away from the Spanish-speaking press or the Spanish-language press to other reactions.
That's right, and France taking on this story very much, and I'll show you the Libération is one example of a paper which is covering this on its front page.
Of course, the French President Nicolas Sarkozy has really been pushing. He made it one of his pledges when he was elected back in last year. That's
right, and so big interest in France on this story. And Libération, in fact, takes a very different angle, quoting an El Tiempo paper, describing Bétancourt as a fake Joan of Arc who's become a symbol. Bétancourt, must remember, came up against a lot of criticism, particularly after she published her book, basically describing herself as saying she was the only person that could lead Colombia away from corruption. Now, however, the paper points out that she is, in fact, the most popular politician in the country, just after Uribe. So things have certainly changed a lot there. And in the WashingtonPost.com...
we'll squeeze that in at the end.
Yeah, just time to say there's a very nice, colourful piece there about some old retired men in a billiards club watching the television, glued to the screen. Can't believe this could happen, and quote there, this is the best Independence Day that Colombia could give to America ahead of tomorrow, 4th of July.
There we go, and with that fascinating view of the world's press after the release of Ingrid Bétancourt, we wrap up this press review. Thanks very much, Marion Hembest. Stay with us here at France 24.
Coming next on France 24 Business. Watch all of France 24 on France24.com. 24/7, wherever you are, log on to our free video-driven site. Watch the network live in 3 languages, interact with our reporters in the field, send in questions for our guests, let us know what you think of the news, and see the best of France 24's reporting on demand. All of France 24 in French, English and Arabic on France24.com.